Thursday night used to be referred to as must-see TV. Well, it applies this week because of this matchup. They aren't friends, but the Jaden Daniels Commanders are off to a 1-0 2025 start and off to Green Bay.
And I think when it's all said and done, there's a lot of good things for the Commanders.
Hello, Wisconsin. They take on the equally perfect Packers back at Lambeau Field, where they just got done putting a red Foreman foot in Detroit's,
After today, they look like they could be at the upper echelon easily, right?
Take an already good cheesehead team, add a scoop of Micah, and you have serious problems. Parsons made a splash in his Green Bay debut, so we have a Packers defense coming in off a dominant outing, holding Detroit's high-powered offense to 13 points.
Gibbs, nowhere to go.
You think they're excited around here in Green Bay?
Against a Washington offense that only scored 21, but could have gone for 28, took their foot off the gas at the end. Packers defense having to handle Jaden Daniels' dual-threatedness, 230-plus passing yards, right close to 100, ran it for close to 70 yards, picked up where he left off.
Daniels gonna take off, beats Burns, he's got a first down.
This game features two quarterbacks who come in with mojo. Jordan Love sparkled as well. Packers offense comes in off a 27-point outing versus a top-ranked 2024 defense.
From the pocket to the end zone.
And what a throw by Jordan Love.
Love hopes to find a way again this week as he lit up Detroit's secondary. Washington's DBs battling a dude who went 16 for 22, 2 touchdowns, no picks, a rating near 130.
To the end zone. He's got a touchdown pass. Packers on the board again.
Commanders' defense he draws next comes in off a fine showing, holding the Giants to 0 touchdowns, just 6 points.
And spun down, and so the Giants will go 3 and out.
I know, it was the little Giants without Icebox. Can only play who's in front of you. Russell Wilson was in front of them last week, held him to under 170 yards, no touchdowns, and a sub-60 rate.
Wilson for the end zone, taking down, balls out.
Can Washington's front pester Love? Packers' big uglies kept Aiden Hutchinson at bay, didn't allow Love to be sacked once, only took 2 QB hits.
Pass rush has not been strong enough affecting Jordan Love.
The Commanders finished the deal on Wilson twice, pressured him close to 50% of the time. That's Cartman fat. Deron Payne, Dorrance Armstrong with a sack each.
You feel that pass rush, those white jerseys just bearing down on you.
Washington didn't give Wilson much time. 71 yards allowed to Malik Neighbors, but they made him work. It was on 12 targets. Their DBs mostly had to deal with targets to 2 wideouts for the most part, Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson. Test this week, much more spread out as Love splits the looks up pretty evenly, and usually does. Dontavian Wicks left his shift with 30 yards. Jaden Reed, 45 and a score. Romeo Doubs led the team with 68 yards.
It is complete to Dobbs.
When they took it, Josh Jacobs scored in his 2025 debut.
Extending the record, now 9 consecutive games with a touchdown.
Not much else though, 66 yards, only 3.5 a carry. Squaring off with a Washington defense that held Tyrone Tracy to under 2.5 yards per run, only gave up 74 rush yards total.
Try to get the run game going, nothing there. There's just no chance.
Since we're on run games, let's talk JCM. Green Bay's defense will be tested just as often on the ground, have to keep tabs on Daniels, and can't sleep on Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, 82 yards in his debut, scored over 8 per jaunt, broke off a 42-yarder.
Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Don't call him Ja'Cory, call him Bill.
Packers defense didn't have to deal with a scrambling quarterback, but they faced off with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, hit him with red and green turtles all game, holding Knuckles to 2.3 per carry, Sonic to 2.1.
That means that they're controlling the line of scrimmage right now.
So Max Headroom doesn't know you don't shoot Sonic and Knuckles with turtles? Is the NFL not paying for the good kind of AI? Packers seem to have the good kind of defense at least. 4 sacks of Jared Goff, who was behind that vaunted Detroit O-line. Rashawn Gary with 1.5. Micah delighting fans by finishing the deal once.
Micah Parsons, you're in Green Bay, and they are happy.
Daniels' line did struggle some. He didn't face a high pressure rate, but rookie right tackle Josh Connerly gave up 1.5 sacks. Brian Burns got to Daniels twice, so Gary and Micah will push him.
Daniels, pressure in his face. Here comes that pass rush.
battle when the ball is in the air. You have a Green Bay secondary that held Goff to under 6 yards per attempt, a sub-90 rate, picking him off once.
Pass intercepted, jumping in front of St. Brown.
Held Amon-Ra St. Brown to 45 yards, Jamison Williams to 23, gave up 79 to tight end Sam Laporta. Daniels did hit his tight end Zach Ertz for a touchdown.
His best friend, the tight end with 7 touchdowns last year.
Ertz just 26 yards total. Terry McLaurin rolls in off a 27-yard showing. Noah Brown the same. Chris Moore, 34 yards. The only guy to crack 40, the guy who cracks heads and steals bikes. Debo going for 77 receiving yards. Samuel, 19 rushing that resulted in a TD.
He looks pretty good, number 1 in the burgundy and gold.
Really hope this one turns out like Washington Green Bay, circa 1983 on Monday Night Football. Joe Theismann, John Riggins, Redskins. Lynn Dickey, James Lofton, Packers. Pure gold, Jerry. See how it all came back around?
Monday Night Football in Green Bay. The Packers and the defending Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins. The Pack's record-setting offense was unpredictable, explosive, and beautiful to watch as Dickey threw for a season-high 387 yards.
Yeah, come on, baby. Let's get this ball up through there. Scrivener will hold. The snap is there. It's down. The kick is on the way. The kick is up. It's good. The Packers have the lead 48-47.
The Packers were winners 48-47 in the highest-scoring Monday night game ever played.
Are these two going to put up a hundy in this one? Holy points brigade, Batman. New York Jets at home after putting up 32 points, but giving up 34, taking on a Bills team that gave up 40, and to many Mafia members' surprise, put up 41.
And the Bills open their final season in this stadium with a stunning comeback win.
Now for the encore, Josh Allen and company. Where do you go from there? I mean, they probably just took part in the game of the year. Now they have to try and not suffer a post-classic letdown. Allen a few yards short of 400, 2 TDs, no INTs, a rating over 110, MVP showing.
And that time, Josh Allen right over the top.
Stacked against a Jets defense that gave up 4 touchdowns to Mr. Rogers in their own neighborhood, 240-plus yards, a rate over 135, didn't pick him off once.
Jets had him hemmed in, and Metcalf slips to the perimeter.
Okay, fine, but how about the other way around? Justin Fields sure looked good in green, not a ton of yards, but efficient when he let it go, close to 10 yards per attempt, a rating close to 120, one of his best games as a starter.
Fields rifles, it's caught, the timing was there.
And the defense he faces comes in just as dazed and confused as his own. Gave up a 40-burger, gave up a 144 rate to Lamar Jackson on 11 yards per attempt, 2 TDs, didn't pick him off once.
Bills bring late pressure. Jackson throws to Zay Flowers.
Buffalo's secondary primarily struggled with Zay Flowers, allowed 140-plus yards to him. Now they get Garrett Wilson, who scored versus Pittsburgh, gathered 95 yards.
Deep ball on the way, Rainbow is caught! Garrett Wilson!
No other Jet pass catcher with 40 yards. Running back Breece Hall had the second most targets. He finished with 38 receiving yards. Enters off a great rushing game, though. 107 yards, 5.6 per run.
Breece Hall, strong cut. Another Jets first down.
Hall is hard to stop when you have to worry about Fields keeping it. He gave him 48 yards rushing, 2 TDs.
You don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to hand it? Is he going to pull it?
Buffalo goes from dealing with Lamar and Henry to Breece and Justin then. They gave up 70 yards on 11.7 a carry to Lamar Jackson, gave up 169 yards on 9.4 a run to Derek, 2 scores.
Through the secondary, Henry to the end zone, touchdown!
Bills did get to Lamar a couple times with their pass rush at least. Fields, who can often suffer a lot of face plants, only took 1 sack versus TJ Watt and company. He's hard to track down sometimes.
Fields hurdles for the first down.
Allen, meantime, only sacked once by Baltimore's pretty stout pass rush. Also hard to find back there, being he too takes off when need be. He was responsible for 2 TDs on the ground as well.
When you see Josh Allen with that play fake, I hope everybody's enjoying this as much as I am.
Jets defense wasn't too worried old man Rodgers would bolt on them, made him an easy target as they gobbled him up 4 times. Will McDonald with a pair to start the year.
Rodgers step. Rodgers is sacked.
Jets front also did a number on Pittsburgh's run game to the tune of 2.7 per carry.
Jets sprint to the ball with Michael Carter II leading the way.
Held Jalen Warren to 3.4 a run, Kenneth Gainwell to 2.7. Next up, James Cook cashed one of his rush attempts in versus Baltimore.
Inside for the Buffalo touchdown!
Not a ton of rushing yards with them chasing all game long, but he's one of 5 guys who come in off a 45-plus yard pass outing. 10 different guys total caught passes last week. Dalton Kincaid, 48 and a score.
In the traffic, Dalton Kincaid is there for 6.
Joshua Palmer, 61 yards in his Bills debut.
Unloading, throwing, that's Palmer! Out of bounds at the 35!
Khalil Shakir, 6 catches, 60-plus yards.
Allen climbing out of the end zone. Little flip to Shakir.
Keon Coleman led the way with 11 targets, 8 catches, 110-plus yards, visited the paint once.
Stays focused on it, the ball's tipped around, and he makes a diving catch.
It was 2 receivers who gave the Jets secondary the most trouble in their Week 1 loss. 70 yards allowed to Calvin Austin, 80-plus to DK Metcalf.
Fires it. It's complete. DK Metcalf makes his move.
Buffalo has taken 8 of the last 10 meetings between these two. These two have been playing each other since 1960. One and only playoff meeting. It was a good one. Anyone still remember their 81 wild card shootout?
For the travel-weary Bills, the setting was familiar. On the road again.
Ferguson with a back to the weak side, dropping back to throw. He fires to Lewis. He's got it. Down to the 30.
Behind quarterback Richard Todd, New York pulled to within 4 points and marched to the threshold of a possible winning touchdown.
And oh, what drama in Shea Stadium. 10 seconds left. Richard Todd looking. He throws it, intercepted by Bill Simpson.
The Bills' dogged determination produced Buffalo's first playoff victory since 1965.
Chicago Bears hit the road Week 2 for another NFC North tilt. They are in Detroit to take on the Lions. It's a revenge match, sort of. Just feels a little like Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Not so much the Mike Tyson Evander Holyfield vibes you might have been hoping for.
Don't jump to conclusions and write off the Lions or anything.
I think the Bears are going to wonder what hit them. Yeah. They're going to walk out of here short of a miracle right here and wonder how they lost this football game.
Translation, it's still worth the watch, but could have been much sweeter, you know? So we have new Bears head coach Ben Johnson taking on his former employer in the stadium he honed his skills in. Johnson unable to coax a win out of his team in Week 1 or many points out of his offense as Caleb and company were only able to generate 17 of them, just 3 for 12 on 3rd down.
Over the middle, bad throw out in front of DJ Moore and turning it over on downs.
The Lions, without Johnson calling the offense, unable to prevail either and unable to put many points on the board either. So you have a 17-point offense clashing with a 13.0.
Gibbs nowhere to go, and a loss of 2.
Both of Detroit's coordinators are looking for a Bill Laimbeer rebound. Lions defense was top-notch last year, gave up 27 points to Green Bay last week, 0 takeaways, 0 sacks.
And Kraft has it for a Green Bay touchdown.
Disappointing to shop in and leave with no bags after you get Aiden Hutchinson back. Williams, one of the easiest quarterbacks to meet up with in the backfield last year, took 2 sacks versus an elite Minnesota pass rush, both at the hands of DT Javon Hargrave. Caleb should have been dropped more often, but to his credit, he pulled some rabbits out of the hat. Scrambling skills top-notch, and at times it resulted in some nice throws.
On 3rd down, Williams has to get out. Looking downfield, and Adunze! He caught it! 1st down, Chicago.
But end of the day, Caleb didn't come through enough. He left the loss with a sub-90 rate and a meager 6 yards per attempt, which was the result of a lot of checkdowns. But he does take on a secondary that struggled with Love, don't we all? They gave up 8.5 yards per attempt to Jordan, 2 TDs, no picks, allowed a rate over 125, but they want to play the pass better this week.
To the end zone. He's got a touchdown pass to Jaden Reed.
Most of the yards they gave up were to 3 wideouts, nothing major, 30 to 68 yards. Chicago counters with DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. Rome seemed like he could have had a bigger night than he had, did lead them in targets and scored at least.
They fake the pitch, throw it wide open, touchdown Odunze.
Just 37 yards though. Caleb didn't see him quite a few times deep. Olamide Zaccheaus left with 42 yards. DJ Moore led the way with 68.
Caleb Williams lets it fly. He has got more.
DeAndre Swift, when Chicago hands off, 53 yards, measly 3.1 yards per carry. Lions held Josh Jacobs to a nice low 3.5, so that matchup tilts their way based on Week 1 results.
3rd and 1. This is a big tackle behind the line to force a punt. How about that play by Derek Barnes?
Detroit's own run game didn't fare any better in their opening loss. Sonic and Knuckles, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs held under 2.5 yards per carry. That's more SpongeBob and Patrick.
Gibbs stacked up again.
They're flying around. I mean,
they could get it going versus Chicago's defense. They held Aaron Jones in check, but they struggled with Jordan Mason, who went for close to 70 yards on 4.3 a carry.
Here's Mason spinning his way into Chicago territory.
Missing inside linebacker TJ Edwards didn't help. Detroit's rush attack is key to setting up Jared Goff, so at times when it falters, so does their pass game. And that was the case versus Green Bay as Goff finished with a sub-90 rate, 1 touchdown countered with 1 INT, less than 6 yards per attempt, which isn't good, and neither is the 13 points all that produced.
Pass intercepted! Jumping in front of St. Brown.
Bears secondary was without 2 key starters. They need Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon back. Despite a pick 6, Goff is still staring at a Chicago secondary that let J.J. McCarthy throw 2 TDs to lead Minnesota back from an early deficit.
McCarthy passes caught, spinning grab by Aaron Jones.
Bears gave up a touchdown to J.J. and to the other J.J. and to Aaron Jones out of the backfield. Puts them on Gibbs' notice, 31 receiving yards in his Week 1. He was the most targeted guy. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown rolling in off a 45-yard game. Ho-hum for him.
Goff fires it, and he's got St. Brown for another 1st down.
Tight end Sam Laporta, Detroit's most successful Week 1 pass catcher with 79 yards.
Goff stepping up in the pocket and finding his tight end.
Part of Goff and Detroit's offensive problem last week was he took 4 sacks. That's not something he's used to behind that line.
4th and 2. They throw him down. That's Wyatt.
Bears pass rush, meantime, did track down McCarthy 3 times.
Steps up. Down he goes. That is Tano Passanio.
Lions have taken 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two, so let's remind Bears fans of better times, like back in the year 2000 for this classic between the two rivals.
With division rival Detroit needing only a win to get to the playoffs, almost everyone considered them a lock.
Showtime! Baby, that's how to have some fun today! Let's go! This is our game! Get this win on 3! Come on now, baby! 1, 2, 3!
And with 39 seconds left, the play of the year came on a double corner blitz.
Takes the snap, look out, pressured, dodging, scrambling, running left, stands out, there's a fumble! Loose ball! And the Bears now have a chance.
From there, one clutch pass put the Bears in range for the final blow.
All right, here we go. This would be a kick of 54 yards. It would surpass his career long of 50 earlier today. Out of the hold of Aguiar, this is for the win. 7 seconds left. The snap, the kick by Ettinger's on the way. He's got enough leg, and the kick is good! He got it with 2 seconds to go. Ettinger has won this game. There's 2 seconds left, and Ettinger 3 for 3 today in field goals.
Oh, for any of those Detroit fans who remember Wayne Fonte smoking a big cigar to get Chicago out of the playoffs, right back at you, buddy.
Duval Jets to the Queen City for a Week 2 vibe check. Jacksonville and Cincinnati for a battle of unbeatens.
Well, a lot to be excited about if you're Liam Cohen getting your first win.
Spicoli versus Joe Shiesty, battle of Netflix quarterbacks. Bengals just happy to hit Week 2 off a win, as ugly as it might have been.
Time expires, and the Bengals win the opener.
Houday loyalists watching last week felt like the guy in A Clockwork Orange again, but holy Schmidt, they escaped the chair with a dub. Still, there was a lot of Cat fans unhappy with Zach Taylor in the aftermath. He can't afford to leave too many games with his offense only managing 17 points, or with Joe Burrow throwing for just 113 yards and 4.9 yards per attempt.
It's hit as he throws, and it's incomplete.
113 yards means Cincy's star-studded receiving core comes in cold, too. Jamar Chase, 26 yards. T. Higgins, 33. Tight end Mike Gesicki, 14. Newbie tight end Noah Fant, 26, though he at least scored.
His first Bengals touchdown gives Cincinnati the lead.
Running back Chase Brown isn't entering off a banger either. 43 yards rushing. He at least painted the zone orange once.
Touchdown, Cincinnati!
He gets a Jacksonville defense that held Chuba Hubbard to 3.6 a run, didn't give up a 10-plus yard run to any of Carolina's backs.
And the Jacksonville defense holds.
They did give up a long run on a broken play to Bryce Young for what it's worth, but Jacksonville's defense would love a similar showing to its Week 1, held Carolina to 10 points, didn't have any issues with Young's arm, holding him under 155 yards passing, picked him off twice, held him to a sub-50 rate.
What a way to seal this thing!
Burrow and company will be a tougher test, but if they can win the trench battle, it could tilt things. Burrow planted 3 times last week. Myles Garrett got him twice.
Guess who? Myles Garrett with the sack.
Burrow only faced pressure 28% of the time. That's manageable. Neither of Jacksonville's biggest QB hunting threats made it to Young. Only 1 sack on 35 pass attempts. Did pressure him a healthy 40% of the time at least.
Sack back inside the 35-yard line.
Lawrence's O-line, on the other hand, left him ready for one of those weird parties. His jersey was clean a week ago. No sacks taken, only got hit once all game.
Started with great protection. That's what we've seen today.
I can't step outside in white and not get it dirty. And their big boys opened up lots of holes for their ETN machine. Travis withdrawing 143 yards, broke a 71-yarder. Jacksonville up 200 on the ground, not at midnight per se, but by early afternoon.
ETN is loose. That's still going. Travis Etienne.
That run felt a little like watching that old Madden commercial. What happened to my breakaway speed? Jags went for 200 ground yards total. Passing attack not as electric. Lawrence under 6 yards per attempt, under 180 yards, sub 75 rate with an INT.
And a one-handed snag.
Not a lot of pizza slices for each pass catcher on this side either. Tight end Brenton Strange worked the seams and whatnot for close to 60 yards, which led the team.
Wide open in midfield, inside the 40, Brenton Strange.
Travis Hunter got the most looks with 8, only 33 yards.
And there is Hunter up across the 41, his first NFL catch.
De'Ami Brown rounding things out with a little over 50.
De'Ami Brown and the accuracy from Trevor Lawrence.
Up next for that group, a Bengals defense that held Grandpa Simpson's offense to 16 points. Came up with 2 INTs of Joe Flacco, held him to a sub-80 rate. Kids don't take it easy on seniors and pick up hoops, not happening in the NFL either.
Flacco, pressure comes and down he goes.
Things to correct. Giving up 290 yards to Gramps isn't anything to brag about. Cornerback Cam Taylor-Britt gave up 85 yards according to Next Gen Stats and a touchdown. They gave up 50-plus yards to 4 guys.
Here's an opportunity for them to step up and start to make a name for themselves.
Lawrence and the Jags O-line will be preoccupied with Trey Hendrickson. Of course, he dropped Flacco once in their opener.
Flacco pressure comes and down he goes.
And as for Etienne, he's going up against a Bengals rush defense feeling itself as they held Cleveland to 49 yards, 2 per run.
Well defended by the Bengals.
Cincinnati has taken Jacksonville their last 3 meetings, 7 of their last 9. Jags up 13-12 overall. Cleveland Browns hit the road week 2 with that oh-so-close feeling, which Baltimore knows a little something about. Actually, they know it better than any team in the NFL right now.
And the Bills with a stunning comeback win!
Think about the last 2 games Flock fans have watched. Even Wile E. Coyote's like, bro, that's harsh, man. Gollum gets it too. And on paper they think, oh cool, Browns are in town. Hey, they're deadbeats, losers, someone the square community wouldn't care about. But just remember, Jameis Winston, Week 8, 2024.
The Cleveland Browns have shocked the Baltimore Ravens.
That's what a team that scored only 16 points Week 1 has to say to a team that scored 40. And make no mistake, save a late game fumble, Baltimore would be happy to see its offense run it back this week.
The King is in! Touchdown Ravens!
Like just run, Forrest, run it back, Cleveland gets Derrick Henry coming off a 169-yard, 9.4-yard per carry, 2-score game.
Quiet in the second half. Not anymore. Henry another touchdown.
Lamar looking just as Lamar as usual. Jackson going for 70 rush yards on 11.7 a run, also scored.
We'll keep it on the read option. Cuts inside the numbers. Left side, he's in. Touchdown Lamar.
Cleveland did not face a scrambler Week 1, but Lamar faces a defense that held Joe Burrow to 113 yards, under 5 yards per attempt, held the Bengals offense to just 17 points.
First 3 and out for Cincinnati's offense.
As to Henry, the 2025 Browns only have experience with Chase Brown so far. Did hold him to 2 yards per carry for what that's worth.
Handing off to Chase Brown, who has nowhere to go.
Jackson didn't just excel as a runner, though. Cleveland's secondary looking at a cat who went for 2 passing touchdowns on a fat Albert 11 yards per attempt, rating over 140.
You can't stop Lamar from running it, then you can't stop him from throwing it.
Didn't throw a lot, only 1 pass catcher of note coming off Week 1. I mean, D-Hop hauled in a beauty, just 35 yards total. Zay Flowers was the star, over 140 yards and a TD.
Now a career high in receiving yards in the game for Flowers.
Browns faced Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, held them each under 35 yards. Jackson took a couple of sacks, that's kind of standard. The Browns, though, need their pass rush to mean something. They need Myles Garrett to be a factor like he was last week when he bagged Burrow twice.
Guess who? Myles Garrett with the sack.
So now we get to Grandpa Simpson. All he has to do is whip out an MVP-like outing, and Joe Flacco, too, might pull a rabbit out of his A. But factually, he's facing a secondary that just gave up close to 400 passing yards, a defense that gave up 41 points.
Wow! What a play. Josh with a frozen rope.
Flacco is a lot like Josh Allen, too. He's tall, has 2 legs, he throws footballs for a living. And truthfully, Flacco wasn't all that bad in their loss. He went for 290 yards.
This is outstanding by Joe Flacco.
Now, the Ravens DBs are still dealing with a dude who only threw 1 touchdown, picked off twice, though both went off his own guy's hands before being picked. Baltimore had trouble with lots of Bills pass catchers, gave up 45-plus yards to 5 different guys. Flacco leaned on 5 guys for most of his yards, not the hamburgers, but the guys. Tight end David Njoku with 37. Cedric Tillman started his year off with 52 yards and a paint job.
5th catch of the afternoon, this one for 25 for Tillman.
Nice debut for rookie Harold Fannin, who picked up 63 yards.
The rookie tight end.
Rookie running back Dylan Sampson with 60-plus receiving yards in his first NFL game.
That's a heck of a catch.
And the known commodity Jerry Jeudy with a 66-yard week 1.
Jeudy is there, makes the catch.
Flacco threw 45 times, only sacked twice. That's a ratio they can live with. Ravens pass rush he's up against this week, only 1 sack of Allen on 46 attempts. That's a ratio they can't live with. They'd be happy to play the run as well again, though. Held James Cook to 3.4 a carry, and Allen to just 2.1, even though he scored twice.
He'll take it himself.
Browns run game. Heard Quinshawn Judkins debut. Do we have a clip? No clip? Thought we had a clip. Stewie's telling me no clip. Don't have any clips of any running backs doing much for Cleveland last week. Only 49 yards rushing as a team, 2 per carry. Browns-Ravens have gone to OT 3 times, the craziest back in 2007. Anyone remember how they went to OT? One of the weirdest ends to a game you'll ever see.
The 5-4 Browns picked themselves up and headed to Baltimore, hoping to avoid another surprise ending.
2nd and 8 from the Browns' 18-yard line. Blitz coming. Here's Bowler back. He got hit. That ball's up in the air, and it's going to be intercepted by Rodney Poole. He's back. 20, 25, 30, 35. He's got the sideline, and he's going to go.
But the Ravens erased Cleveland's 13-point advantage, and it took one of the strangest plays in NFL history to force overtime.
This is it. 2nd week in a row for the tie. End over end. End over end. It is up, and it is. Oh, it hit the crossbar. It hit the upright, and it's no good.
Oh, it hit it and bounced back into the field of play.
And it looks like the Browns have lost it. The officials are huddling in the end zone, but the teams are heading into the locker room.
Even without instant replay available, the Browns hoped that justice would be served.
After discussion on the field goal hit the top of the crossbar, went over and hit the extension on the backside, which in fact is a good field goal. It bounced back. The field goal was good.
And we are tied!
In overtime, Dawson was the hero again.
Dawson's kick is up, and the kick is good! And the Browns win! No replay needed!
Sending Cleveland home with a 6-4 record.
Tennessee Titans at home, Week 2. Their rookie quarterback still looking for his first win of the year after struggling against the first NFL defense he ever faced, a pretty good one at least, taking on the 1-0 LA Rams, who seem to have a pretty good defense of their own.
Wow! Came in like a torpedo.
There was a feeling in Hollywood this offseason that the Rams would return the D Bojack stole. After watching them in Week 1, it seems they may have done it. They come in off a donut TD outing, holding the Texans to 9 points.
And it's recovered by the Rams!
Mr. Peanut Butter wasn't part of their secondary, but the guys they have trot out just as happy with themselves, held C.J. Stroud to under 190 yards, no TDs, picked him off, held him to a sub-75 rate.
What a interception!
Now they get Cam Ward, fresh off his NFL debut, which was more like an NFL day dud. Only 112 yards passing, a measly 4 yards per attempt, a sub-55 rate. He lost a fumble. Titans offense only mustering 12 points despite a great defensive effort. 2 for 14 on 3rd down, 2 turnovers.
That ball is loose!
Ward was hit 12 times, planted 6 times for 50 yards and losses.
Cam Ward goes down.
The Denver pass rush they faced is deep, but so is LA's. They got home to C.J. Stroud 3 times, pressured him over 40% of the time. That's plenty healthy.
Big loss. Nice play by Davis.
LA's pressure made it hard for Stroud to connect with his go-to, Nico Collins. Rams held him to 25 yards. No Texan mustered more than 35. No Titan receiver cracked 30. Their Week 1 target leader, Calvin Ridley, finished with just 27 yards on 8 targets.
Ridley's got to make a play to try to get the first down, and he won't.
Tennessee's leading receiver was running back Tony Pollard with 29 yards. Wasn't very efficient on the ground either, only 3.3 yards per carry, 60 yards, but maybe he gets it going against LA's front that did allow Nick Chubb to go for 60 yards on 4.6 a carry.
First down for the Texans.
Rams' play versus the run didn't hurt them in their win, though. Their defense still led the way. They'd like to see their offense do a little more this week to help out. 14 points isn't going to win a lot of games. Their rush attack only averaged 2.9 a carry. Kyron Williams under 4 for the game. He did at least score.
Touchdown! They tied the game.
Tennessee's only Week 1 blind spot on defense was their rush defense. Gave up a 50-yarder to R.J. Harvey, a 19-yarder to J.K. Dobbins, over 150 yards rushing allowed, 5 yards per carry given up.
Denver touchdown!
Tennessee's D guys will mostly focus on Matthew Stafford, though. Took 3 sacks last week. Didn't throw the ball to the wrong team, though. 245 yards, over 8 yards per attempt, a rating near 110. A nice start he's looking to build on.
Rams go on top.
The Tennessee defense he takes on next had a day in their loss. They get to play the Shaggy card. Held Denver on the road to 20 points. Wasn't me. 4 takeaways in 1 game. Wasn't me. Held Bo Nix to 176 yards, just 4.4 yards per attempt, a 60 rating. You can say they lost on the scoreboard all you want, or claim you saw them in the bathroom, but it wasn't them.
Tennessee may have it. Joseph Day's on top of it.
They did give up a touchdown to Cortland Sutton, 61 yards. Now Tennessee's secondary gets Puka and Adams. LA's big man on campus Week 1 was Nakua, 11 targets, 10 catches, 130 yards.
First down Rams.
Devontae saw 8 targets, so 19 of Stafford's 29 attempts went to Adams and Puka. Devontae Adams, 4 catches, 51 yards.
What a catch!
Rams Titans don't have a lot of history, only 14 games played between them. None ever really stuck out either.
But here's a 35-yard field goal attempt, and it's a drop snap. And Warner slings it over the middle, and wide open is Torrey Holt, the wide receiver, all the way to the Tennessee 30. Rams blitz, but the Titans pick it up. McNair buys a ton of time, but good work by the secondary. But here's where Steve is very dangerous. 3 receivers to the right. Warner goes over the middle, juggled, caught. Holt, touchdown. George, he's in there. It is caught by Dyson. Can he get in? No, he cannot. The Rams have won the Super Bowl.
Somebody's getting their first win in this one. Miami Dolphins at home asking for the infamous breakfast ball after hooking their opening shot into the lake. New England Patriots didn't pipe their opening drive, but they too would like a mulligan.
And Geno Smith drops to his knee, and for the second straight year celebrates a win to spoil the Patriots home opener.
I know if you don't have anything nice to say, you're not supposed to say anything at all, but you guys are NFL fans, so you can take it. These two offenses stunk in their debuts, and it's not even Christmas yet. Tua Tagovailoa's BO, a little riper than Drake May's. He's trying to rebound from a 3-turnover game, under 115 yards passing, 5 yards per attempt, a low 50s rate. I mean, he'd be hard-pressed to do that back-to-back weeks, right? By comparison, May's opener doesn't look so bad. Had a bad INT, a low 80s rate, 6.2 yards per attempt isn't good, but over 285 yards passing, so between the two, you'd at least give him the guy with the hands doing the I don't know emoji.
Drake May putting this ball where only Douglas could get to it.
Still, we're talking about a Pats offense stumbling in off a 13-point outing, only to be outdone by Miami's offense, which only scratched out 8. And Tua and company don't face what you'd call a rattled Patriots defense. Their new-look D held Vegas to 20 points, 5 for 13 on third down, and completely shut down Ashton Genty, who they held to 2 yards per carry.
The Patriots defense, they've been really stout against the run.
Miami's offense isn't run-heavy, but it can leave a dent if you're not careful. Running back Devon Achane is Miami's hottest offensive player, 55 Week 1 rush yards, averaging 7.9 yards per John.
Achane has a first down and more.
Miami's O-line may have helped him to an okay day, but they didn't provide great pass pro for Tua. He got taken out 3 times.
And they finally bring him down. Tua goes down.
Next, he gets a Patriots pass rush that downed Geno Smith 4 times. Harold Landry's Pats debut, bag shopping trip.
Harold Landry, welcome to New England.
New England played without star cornerback Christian Gonzalez, and it showed, so they're hoping for his return. Without him, they surrendered over 360 yards to Geno Smith, a rating allowed over 100, lots of 20-plus yard completions allowed.
Well, you can see just a lapse in coverage.
Safety Jalen Hawkins, who had an INT, also blamed for 92 yards allowed and a touchdown. He and others couldn't stop Brock Bowers from going for over 100 yards, gave up a long touchdown to wideout Trey Tucker and 97 yards to Jacoby Myers. They pull Waddle and Hill next. No Dolphins pass catchers enter with swag. Jalen 30 yards, Tyreek with 40.
That's a great catch coming back for it around the 47-yard line is Tyreek Hill.
Miami's offense has nowhere to go but up, and the defense May will be looking at is kind of in the same boat, unless Daniel Jones and the Colts offense is elite, and we don't know it yet. Gave up 33 points to him, the caveat being their own offense put them behind the 8 ball a lot.
This is the Colts' 3rd drive of 15-plus plays today.
May and his mates get a secondary that let Jones nickel and dimes them for 270-plus yards, over 9 yards per attempt, that's hefty, a touchdown, no interceptions, a rating allowed over 115, made him look worthy of a high draft pick they did.
Daniel Jones is having some sort of sensational opening game in a Colts uniform.
Jones, historically a grass connoisseur, Miami's pass rush only got to him once, only hit him twice. Maybe they make a few more visits versus a New England O-line that let Drake get taken down 4 times. That's almost as many as Mr. Duckworth took him down last year, I think.
Drake May in trouble, the ball coming loose.
Still, Pats have a few receivers who strut in with confidence. Kayshawn, what's another name for Pirate Treasure, kicked off his year with 100-plus yards. Booty reeled in 6 balls.
What a half Kayshawn Booty is putting together.
Stephon Diggs went for 55-plus yards in his New England debut.
His tippy toes just inside the sideline.
The only other pass catcher of note, tight end Hunter Henry, who tallied 65-plus yards.
Wide open, he's got his tight end Hunter Henry.
Dolphins secondary gave up 76 yards to tight end Tyler Warren, 80 to Michael Pittman Jr., and as to their rush defense, allowed a number of 10-plus yarders to be broken off, but also held JT under 4 yards per carry, held Indianapolis as a whole under 4.
Taylor gets the call. Jonathan Taylor tripped up.
Squabbling up next with rookie Travion Henderson, 5.4 per pop in his NFL debut, only 5 tries though.
And a good-looking run from the rookie.
Miami has taken New England the last 4 straight and 8 of their last 9. How times have changed. Well, sort of. Finns owned the Pats in the 70s, like really owned them that 72 season.
The entire offense was awesome as Miami passed their opponents out of the Orange Bowl.
New York Giants take to the road from one NFC East opponent to the next, both looking for win number 1. They're in Dallas, taking on a Cowboys club, hoping some home cooking helps them get in the win column.
CD couldn't bring that one in either.
Hard catch, but catchable.
The boys may have come up short in week 1, but they had their chances on the road versus the reigning champs, so they figure if they can just correct a few things week over week, they can flip the script, or scoreboard in this case.
Prescott looking middle, covered, coming downfield for a wham! CD couldn't hang on!
Giants, on the other hand, have a lot of corrections to make on offense. Dallas's defense taking on an O that didn't score a single week 1 TD. 4 for 16 on third down, and Russell Wilson's G-Men debut, under 170 yards passing, a measly 4.5 yards per attempt, a sub-60 rate.
3rd and 10. Wilson under pressure. Just gets rid of it. It's dropped.
We call that bad football.
That makes Dak Prescott the hotter of the two QBs. Prescott rolls in off a 185-plus yard game, 21 of 34 passing. Numbers not an exact reflection of his week 1 play.
Prescott scanning and throws complete to Lamb, who came across the field.
Needless to say, they didn't get a 2 WR1 game from their new WR duo. George Pickens started his Dallas career with 30 yards.
Throw is caught by George Pickens.
CeeDee Lamb, by far Prescott's go-to, 13 targets, 7 more than anyone else. Could have had a monster game, instead enters off a really good one, over 100 yards, took the blame, so he's looking for a Lloyd Christmas outing this week.
Prescott, play action, about to get hit, throwing it. It's open for CeeDee Lamb inside the 5. First and goal, Dallas.
Wants to totally redeem himself. Kevontae Turpin under 20 yards, tight end Jake Ferguson under 25. Giants secondary they face gave up over 230 yards passing to Jaden Daniels, rating close to 100, almost 8 yards per attempt, held Terry McLaurin in check, but gave up 77 yards to Deebo Samuel.
Got time, over the middle he goes, and it's caught. Deebo Samuel's got a first down.
Giants defense held Washington's high-scoring O to 21 points, 4 for 11 on third down. Its own offense not helping matters either. Pass rush could be a problem for Dallas's O-line. New York found its way to Daniels 3 times, Brian Burns with a pair of bags.
Daniels, pressure in his face. Here comes that pass rush. He is wrapped up and sacked. They blow the play dead.
Now they go after Prescott, who had an outcast outing versus Philadelphia's pass rush. Only 1 hit taken, no sacks. He'd be happy if his jersey was so fresh and so clean back-to-back weeks.
Prescott scanning and throws complete to Lamb, who came across the field.
Cowboys O-line helped Javonte Williams score twice.
Dak gives to Williams, left side, into the end zone.
Helped Miles Sanders break off a 49-yarder.
Miles Sanders running in open space. There goes Sanders at the 30. Chased at the 20.
Wasn't exactly a Cowboys run game is back kind of game or anything, but it factored. Maybe it factors more this week against a Giants defense that gave up 220 yards along the ground to the Commanders. They lost linebacker Micah McFadden to an injury early. Didn't help as they gave up 82 yards to rookie Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt on 8.2 a run.
Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt breaking free at the touchdown earlier.
New York's own ground game was led by Wilson's legs. QB stems, a problem for Dallas's defense in their opener. When they failed to reach Jalen Hurts, he took off. They gave up over 60 rush yards to him, 2 scores.
Now taken off to the pylon. Got there. Jalen Hurts for the second time tonight.
Wilson staring at a group that only produced 1 week 1 sack. They did pressure Hurts over 40% of the time at least. That's healthy.
Yeah, and it's very rare that you see Jordan Mailata get beat, and that's a good sign for the Cowboys.
Wilson sacked twice on 37 pass attempts. That's not terrible, but being pressured close to 50% of the time is, and Washington didn't blitz a ton.
Holy cow, who wants to play quarterback in the NFL?
When he lets it fly, it will go in the direction of Malik Neighbors a lot. Led the G-Men with 71 yards, 5 catches on a team-high 12 targets.
Watch this route by Neighbors. Post, back to the corner.
Wan'Dale Robinson gave him 6 catches, 55 yards. Those 2 expected to lead the way through the air most games.
Good route by Robinson, who's there to haul it in for a first down.
Wideout Darius Slayton, 0 yards versus Washington. That group, stacked against a Dallas defense that enters off a mixed outing, gave up 24 points on the night, weren't great on third down.
3rd and 3. Hurts comes back to the middle. Big hit in the middle, but held on to by Goddard.
Still, their secondary held A.J. Brown to 1 target, 1 catch, 8 yards. Devontae Smith to just 16 yards. Hurts to a measly 152.
It is complete to A.J. Brown. His first target, and he stays in bounds.
Cornerback Kaiir Elam, the only Dallas DB looking to rebound, really. He gave up 70-plus yards along with a rate near 120. Along the ground, Cowboys take on Wilson and running back Tyrone Tracy. Only mustered 24 yards, 2.4 per run. Dallas held Saquon to 3.3 per carry. Linebacker Kenneth Murray, 9 tackles in his star debut. They had major issues with Barkley last year, so that's a good sign maybe.
Barkley inside, and the Cowboys surge with
Giants and the boys used to be a heated rivalry, kind of one-sided lately. Dallas has won the last 8 meetings, 15 of the last 16. 2020, the one time in recent years the G-men prevailed.
Dalton in trouble back there, throws it up for grabs, and it's picked! Intercepted by McKinney!
Seattle Seahawks soar off to Pittsburgh this week. Hawks showed up defensively in their Week 1 loss. Need to again this week to try and slow down the old guy and their old friend. Forget smash mouth, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, steel curtain football. How about some high-flying, seat-of-your-pants Aaron Rodgers ball? I'm worried Pittsburgh dad might leave Deb after that one. 4 touchdowns, over 8 yards per attempt, 240-plus yards, rating over 135. Are we back in 2020 again? Wait, never mind. Let's go. Are we back to A-Rod circa 2011?
Aaron Rodgers comes back to Jersey with a bang.
In turn, we're looking at a Pittsburgh offense that put up 34 points, facing off with a Seattle defense that held San Francisco to 17. Took a late game deflected pass landing in a backup tight end's hands to get to 17 too. Rodgers facing a secondary that picked off Brock Purdy twice.
Gets picked off by Ernest Jones.
They didn't face George Kittle and Juwan Jennings all game due to injuries, did give up 275-plus yards to Purdy, over 100 to Ricky Pearsall, 70-plus to CMC out of the backfield. Pittsburgh running back Jalen Warren did catch a TD in their win over New York. So did tight end Jonnu Smith. The big yards earners in their Week 1 victory, Calvin Austin, 70 yards in a trip to Bob Rossville.
Down the sideline, Calvin Austin.
And Q Spicoli, Hawks know that dude. DK had his way for 83 yards in his black and gold debut. Metcalf, the most targeted dude on the field for Rodgers. Hurry Rodgers or knock him down. Old people have a hard time getting up sometimes. Seattle only sacked Brock once on 35 pass attempts, maybe a better showing versus a Pittsburgh line that let Rodgers get planted 4 times by New York.
Rodgers devoured.
Steelers line was unable to spring backs Jalen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell, or Caleb Johnson too. They ran 20 times, 2.7 yards per carry.
No gain on that play. The Jets were fully prepared for him.
Seattle's front may not have sacked Purdy, but they did hold CMC to under 3.5 per run.
It's not gonna get there.
Seahawks defense isn't the one needing to figure things out week over week. Their offense is the one needing to see Dr. Drew or Hussey or Hussey or however you say his name about how to score more often. Sam Darnold's debut didn't go too great. Team only scratched out 13 points. He only threw for 150 yards, a sub-90 rate, under 7 yards per attempt, only took 1 sack, though it ended their hopes for a comeback, so LL didn't have to call it that.
Just said the one thing they can't have is a sack and sack fumble to all but end this.
He and his feathered friends now see if they can straighten some things out against a Pittsburgh defense that looked very undued in their Week 1 win. 32 points allowed, 7 for 14 on third down, only 1 sack of their ex-QB, who they knew as well as anyone would. Let him throw for 218 yards on 9.9 per attempt, gave up a rating allowed near 120 to Justin Fields.
Deep ball on the way. Rainbow is caught.
Their secondary gave up 95 yards to Garrett Wilson and a touchdown. He was their main issue until Jalen Ramsey took care of him at the very end. Cue up Darnold's go-to then. Jackson Smith-Njigba saw 13 of Sam's targets. He only threw 23 times, mind you, clocked out with 124 yards.
Really well done.
He was kind of it, though. Cooper Kupp, 15 yards. No one else had 10 plus. Seattle's ground game needs to do more as well. Kenneth Walker only 20 yards, a measly 2 per run. Zach Charbonnet only managed 47 on 3.9 a carry, though he at least scored.
Touchdown, Seattle!
The Pittsburgh rush defense they face, also in need of a facelift. Fields got him for 2 touchdowns and 48 yards, 5.6 yards per carry allowed to Breece Hall for over 100 yards.
And this offensive line runs right behind that left side.
Seattle and Pittsburgh, Steelers have won 11, Hawks 10, one of their previous matchups you might remember.
This is it! This is it! Right here, right now! It's our turn! It's our turn!
3rd and long. Hasselbeck back, throws it down the field, intercepted at the 6, and the Steelers play takeaway. And they hand it to Willie Parker, finds a lane, he's on his way, look out. Foot race, 45-50. Woo! Willie Parker, a Super Bowl record 75-yard scoring run.
When you come into the Super Bowl, baby, you better come with the full arsenal, and that's what the Steelers doing offensively.
New Orleans Saints play back-to-back home games, hoping round 2 proves more fruitful than round 1. They get the San Francisco 49ers, who scrape together just enough to get out of the gates with a win.
The 49ers have it!
Both these teams played in games that came down to the very end. The Niners' end result, the kind they were both hoping for. Brock Purdy hits week 2 off a solid game if he plays. Have to track his status. If he can't go, then it's Mac Jones time. Purdy had 2 of his balls picked off. His second TD came off a deflection. But hey, 3-point bank shots still count even if you don't call them.
What a play by Purdy.
BCB went for 275 plus yards, 2 TDs on 26 of 35 passing. Niners offense only put up 17 points though, partially because they lost George Kittle and Jawan Jennings. Both left hurt last week. Kittle had caught one of Purdy's TDs before departing.
There's Kittle, he's got it!
Saints defense won't face Kittle. Jennings looks like he's maybe/probably, but they know they have to face CMC. McCaffrey went for 69 yards on the ground, only 3.1 a carry, so still some rust. Caught 9 balls though for 73 yards.
Of course it's Christian McCaffrey.
The Saints defense he takes on this week had a solid 2025 debut. They held Arizona to 20 points, and their pass rush comes in off a 5-sack outing. Carl Granderson a bag and a half, Cameron Jordan the same.
That is a disaster of a play for the Cardinals.
Their pass rush kept them in it last week. Can it do so versus San Francisco's line? Purdy only sacked once and he threw 35 times.
Purdy floats one, Pearsall's wide open.
Saints' play versus the pass wasn't terrible per se, held Kyler Murray to under 165 yards, but no INTs, 2 touchdowns allowed for a rate given up near 100.
Touchdown, Cardinals!
Saints gave up 70-plus yards to Marvin Harrison and a score, gave up 61 yards to tight end Trey McBride. With Kittle out, they get tight end Jake Tunges, who pulled that deflected TD in. It was nice. And Ricky Pearsall, who struts in off a career-best 108 yards.
Pearsall's got it!
New Orleans also needs to stop the run better this week, or CMC could really find his legs. They let Trey Benson get loose for a 52-yard run, allowing 5.4 yards per carry and 146 rush yards as a result.
Taken down by Carl Granderson.
If the Saints can show out on defense again, can they get more from their offense? Spencer Rattler was letting it fly all game in week 1, 46 pass attempts, but only 214 yards, which is less than 5 per attempt, a low 70s rate as a result.
Pass complete.
Rattler was only sacked once, too. He's matched up with a 49ers defense that only came up with 1 sack, though it was a big one. Despite that, their secondary held Sam Darnold to 150 yards passing, under 7 yards per attempt, a sub-90 rate, no TD passes allowed.
That's a loss of 8 yards on the first play of this drive.
49ers held Cooper Kupp to 15 yards. The only guy to ding him was Jackson Smith-Njigba, who hit him for 124 yards. In this game, they get Rashid Shaheed, Brandon Cooks, neither guy cracked 35 yards versus Arizona. Chris Olave at least gave him 54.
First down, Olave.
It took 13 targets to do it. Tight end Juwan Johnson saw 11 targets, racked up 76 yards.
Juwan Johnson's been on the spot all day.
Alvin Kamara, always a threat out of the backfield, only 2 catches for him week 1, scored a rushing TD with a 4.1 average, 45 yards.
Well, he tips toes down the sideline.
49ers run defense held Seattle under 90 yards rushing, just 3.2 yards per carry.
And Charbonnet gets thrown down by Warner.
Remember when the city of New Orleans was located out west? Weird, right? Not sure how the whole city moved, but the two teams were division rivals for years. The last time, 2001, New Orleans, Atlanta, St. Louis, Carolina, and San Francisco all together in the NFC West. The Wayback Machine takes us back to 1980 for a 49ers Saints OT Classic. Niners had some kid named David W. Gibson at QB.
Mike Harris. Out of the hold of Bobby Scott, Benny Ricardo will try to make it 35-7. In close, and they've got it. Joe Montana kept it himself. That's Dwight Clark with a lot of real estate. That's Freddie Solomon with a block. And that's a San Francisco touchdown. Look out, blitz from the left side. Joe Montana unloads to Freddie Solomon. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Bring it back to the...
How is this game not in the Sunday Night Football slot? No disrespect to the Falcons-Vikings matchup, but this is like Miyagi-Do versus Cobra Kai, Snake Eyes versus White Shadow, Stark versus Lannister kind of action, and it's not slotted for the primetime game? Who's for an audible that allows us to flex during week 2 just once, please?
Let's go! Start it! No!
Let's check the first box. Super Bowl rematches have taken place 9 times. Team that won the Super Bowl won the rematch 7 times. Second box, Patrick Mahomes doesn't know what 0-2 is, hasn't ever started a season that way.
As Mahomes gets out of trouble, flips it to Juju Smith-Schuster with some Mahomes magic.
Head coach Andy Reid has started 0-2 once with Kansas City, his second year on the job. To avoid that, he probably needs better play from his offense and defense than he got in week 1, giving up 27 points while letting Justin Herbert go for 300-plus yards, 3 touchdowns, and a rating allowed over 130 didn't work out in Brazil.
Over the middle, Johnston, touchdown Chargers.
Now they take on the reigning champs. Kind of looked the part in their debut, held it down to 20 points on defense, maybe a little lightning delay helped in there. Offense went for 24 despite not clicking on all cylinders.
Hurts has time, takes off, Jalen Hurts, touchdown Philadelphia.
Jalen was the one putting the hurts on the boys. Not a ton of yards through the air, a little over 150, but 19 for 23, and Kansas City's dealing with one of those dual threat types. It was more pushing of the tush for key third down conversions, comes off a 60-plus yard rush outing, 2 paint jobs.
Now taken off to the pylon, got there! Jalen Hurts for the second time tonight.
Chiefs gave up 32 rushing yards to Herbert, the big run, the dagger at the end, but played the run well enough, holding Omarion Hampton to 3.2 yards per carry.
And that's a handoff on 3rd and short, and that goes nowhere. Big stop by the Chiefs defense.
Can they come close to handling Saquon in that manner? Barkley comes off a quietish game, sort of, under 3.5 a run, but did score and made a couple big catches out of the backfield.
Whoa! Barkley the one-hand catch. Barkley the stiff arm. Barkley the first down.
The line that will try and spring him is a little banged up. Gave up a high pressure rate last week, but only allowed Hurts to be sacked once. His scrambles played a role, of course.
When the money is on the line, when the game is on the line, Jalen Hurts is going to run the ball.
We've seen Philadelphia's offense pull plenty of Mr. Robots. One week they're a running team, the next they're blowing teams out through the air. Never really know who you're dealing with. Week 1, their lead receiver was their Spinal Tap drummer, Jahan Dotson, with close to 60 yards.
And it is brought in by Jahan Dotson.
Their long-standing band members, Dallas Goedert, leader in targets, caught all 7, close to 45 yards.
3rd and 3. Hurts comes back to the middle. Big hit in the middle, but held on to by Goedert for the first down.
The stars of their show typically both come off very quiet showings. Devontae Smith, just 16 yards, and A.J. Brown apparently didn't want to be the only one in his summer book club to not finish the let them theory. 1 target, 1 catch, 8 yards.
It is complete to A.J. Brown, his first target, and he stays in bounds.
The Kansas City pass rush, Philadelphia has to hold off to give those blokes a chance to rebound, comes off a nice 3-sack outing. George Karlaftis with 1, linebacker Drew Tranquil blitzing his way to 2.
The blitz right up the gut, and down goes Herbert with Drew Tranquil, anything but.
Like KDOT would say, though, it's not enough, or wasn't anyway, and neither was the 21 points they scored versus LA, 5 for 14 on 3rd down. And make no mistake, scoring has been a problem for this team 2 years running.
Mahomes' quick throw to the end zone, and that's incomplete. Brings up 4th.
Wasn't really a Mahomes problem. He produced his fair share of magical moments, lots of big key runs, over 250 yards through the air.
Running for his life from Khalil Mack, throws to a wide open Hollywood Brown. Holy smokes!
Now he goes up against a Philadelphia defense hoping to pick up where they left off. They were shaky in the first half versus Dallas, settled in the second to some degree. Slippery CD helped a little too. Holding a team under 21 points, though, usually leads to good things.
Traffic, that throw is incomplete. Cooper DeJean.
Lamb gave their secondary trouble. Should have given them more, save a few big drops. But Philadelphia's secondary held Dak Prescott to under 190 yards and a sub-80 rate, so they roll in off a good outing in the end.
Prescott throws off of Lamb and incomplete. Adoree Jackson in coverage.
Have to wait and see if Mahomes has Xavier Worthy. He left week 1 hurt. He will have Tyquan Thornton, gave him 41 yards in his Chiefs debut, hooped the bulk on a nice over-the-shoulder catch.
What a beautiful throw and catch in that big play that they've been missing so much the last couple years.
Juju Smith-Schuster, good for 55 yards last week.
And that is a nice gain for Juju Smith-Schuster. Bouncing off would-be tackler's gain of 17.
Travis Kelce got slapped in the face. So much for the whole refs are on their side thing. Guess it must come with being worth $1.6 billion. Trav scored 47 yards.
Travis Kelce, touchdown! 37 yards for 87.
And by far, Mahomes' go-to, Hollywood Brown. 16 targets, 10 catches, a yard short of a C-note.
Hollywood Brown starting to heat up. He's been the go-to guy for Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes' O-line, he was sacked twice, not pressured at a high rate. His right tackle, Jawan Taylor, has to hope the refs don't listen to Too Short before the game this week. Had the whistle blown on him 4 times.
Full start. Number 74, offense.
Jawan Taylor flagged for that.
They square up with a Philadelphia pass rush that didn't make it home once versus Dallas. Only 1 QB hit on 34 pass attempts. Maybe having Jalen Hawk Tua Carter back on the field will help.
Number 98's defense actions has disqualified him from the game.
Whoa! Philadelphia cornerback Adoree Jackson needs to rebound. He gave up over 100 yards in his Eagles debut. Corners Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean slide in off good games. Eagles rush defense, mixed bag. They gave up a 49-yard run to Miles Sanders, 2 touchdowns to Javonte Williams, so their stats don't look good. But the rest of the night, they held the Cowboys' rush attack in check. It's complicated, Maude, a few ins and outs.
Pickup of about 3.
Mahomes led the Chiefs in rushing. Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, Hunt combined for 41 yards on 10 attempts. Pacheco at least hit it 5 a run on his 5 tries.
Pacheco on the draw. Pacheco inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal for Kansas City.
Philadelphia and Kansas City tied 6-6 overall. Do you know what year Andy Reid first coached against Philadelphia? I am the Walrus. Hint, Macklemore had the thrift shop biz booming that year. I am the Walrus. Donnie, you're out of your element.
In week 3, Reid returned to the home of the first franchise he turned into a winner. He proved he still knew how to win in Philadelphia.
Vic throws it left, and it's intercepted! Intercepted by Berry off a deflection from Derek Johnson! Touchdown, Kansas City! The Chiefs have a pick 6.
What a play by Kansas City.
What a win for Kansas City. And Andy Reid, the winningest coach in Eagles history, gets a victory as the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Let's call it the Bojack Bowl. Denver Broncos on the road after sort of stumbling their way to their first win of the year, the way horsemen might do after a long night out. Off to Indy to take on a Colts club that saw its QB look like he may have rejuvenated his career, Filbert style.
With time, touch pass, he's got a man, Pittman!
If Sam and Gino could do it, why not Daniel Jones? What a debut for DJ. Dimed the Colts up and down the field to the tune of 270 plus yards, no picks, over 9 yards per attempt, a rating over 115. Man, what the Giants wouldn't give to get QB production like that.
He's playing point guard, and he is dealing and distributing.
He helps set up a monster battle. You know, if you go by Indy scoring 33 points and being one of the best offenses in the game for now, against a Denver defense that's holding opponents to 12 points per game, 2 for 14 on third down last week, 0 TDs allowed, held Cam Ward to 112 yards passing, minuscule 4 yards per attempt, a rating below 55.
Ward being chased. Got rid of it, and not much there at all.
12 points per game allowed. 1 game played. It's still accurate. And so is saying Jones is facing a pretty fierce pass rush as Orange Crush 2.0 bagged Ward up 6 times, 50 yards and losses. 6 different dudes split the pizza up.
Nick Bonito, high money man on the money down, comes up for Denver.
Jones has typically been one of the easiest dudes to bury, but he comes off a game where he only got dropped once, only hit 2 times on 29 pass attempts.
Jones has time, good protection, got a wide open Warren.
When he lets it rip, lots of options. 2 of them, tight end Tyler Warren and wide receiver Michael Pittman, dominated his week 1 looks. 17 of his 29 targets went to the 2. Pittman 80 yards and a TD.
Jones keeps it, throws it to Pittman for the first down.
Warren's rookie debut, 7 catches, 76 yards.
Tyler Warren is rumbling deeper into Miami territory.
Denver's secondary didn't let a single Titan pass catcher go for 30 yards, held Calvin Ridley to 27, top pass catcher was running back Tony Pollard with 29, and they held him to 3.3 along the ground, too.
And that was closed out immediately.
They take on Jonathan Taylor next, who ran for 71 yards versus Miami.
Jonathan Taylor has some room, lowers his shoulder.
Only 3.9 yards per carry, though. Still played his part in an impressive offensive showing, which the Colts got from their defense, too. Impressive showing, I mean. Held Miami to 8 points, late and meaningless no less. Bo Nix, staring at a defense that picked off Tua Tagovailoa twice, held him to 5 yards per attempt and just 114 yards, a low 50s rate.
Looking for Tyreek Hill, too high and picked off.
Now they set their sights on Nix, who comes in off a dud. 176 yards, a meager 4.4 yards per attempt, a touchdown against 2 INTs, a 60 rating.
Time running out, delivers, bad pass picked off.
Nix was only sacked once on his 40 pass attempts too, but he fumbled as well for a 3 giveaway day. The Colts took the ball away 3 times total from Tua, one of their 3 sacks causing a fumble.
Tua in trouble, he lost the football, and the Colts have it.
Nix completed passes to 11 different guys. Only 2 come in off games with more than 22 yards. Troy Franklin, who managed 44.
Screen pass, Troy Franklin, another Denver first down.
And his go-to, Cortland Sutton, most targets with 9, 6 catches, 61 yards, and the 1 TD.
Nix pumps, throws, got a man, it's Sutton, it's a touchdown.
Indianapolis held Tyreek Hill to 40 yards, Jalen Waddle to 30. Could play the run a little better, let Devon Achane average 7.9 a carry.
Achane, he's 28, and he's got a big run here.
But under 80 rush yards allowed for the day, Achane just 55, wasn't really a problem per se. Denver's rush attack is what mitigated Nix's poor showing. They stomp in with J.K. Dobbins going for 63 yards and a TD, R.J. Harvey busting a 50-burger out on his way to a 70-yard day.
There goes the rookie in his NFL debut, an impact play all the way down to the 30 at Tennessee.
Denver beat Indy last year, but the Colts have won 13 of the last 19 meetings. The overall series is tied, so this is the rubber match. We highlighted their first ever meeting last year, a Broncos win, so this time, let's revisit the first time the Colts beat the Broncos. Some serious fireworks in that 78 tilt.
At home against Denver. It was a day for defense, as this tipped pass from Bill Troop to Glenn Doughty was the only touchdown of the entire afternoon. A ferocious pass rush had Craig Morton on his back most of the day, as the defending AFC champions were held to merely 2 field goals. The outcome was decided with 8 seconds left, and Denver merely a chip shot away from victory. Mike Barnes blocked Jim Turner's field goal attempt to preserve a hard-fought 7-6 win. The Baltimore defense showed its true color.
Carolina Panthers head west for Week 2 in search of win number 1. They hit the desert to take on the Arizona Cardinals, who were able to find a way to victory in their opener.
One last play. Here's Rattler out of the gun, looking to the end zone, looking for Olave, and he overthrows him. It is incomplete. The ball game is over.
Arizona looking to start 2-0 on the year, which they pulled off a couple years back, actually. 2021, they started 7-0, so Kyler Murray knows what a hot start feels like. He didn't blow up the stat sheet out of the gate, and the Cardinals' offense only mustered 20 points, but Kyler threw for 2 touchdowns, no picks, and put up a rate close to 110, so he's off to a strong enough start to the year.
Murray, left side, pass complete. Marvin Harrison, touchdown, Cardinals.
His counterpart, on the other hand, is in Dennis Rodman country as he hits Week 2. Bryce Young was unable to carry over any of the late-season vibes that we saw him pick up last year, throwing 2 INTs on 18 of 35 passing in Week 1, a sub-50 rate, so he needs to rebound. Panthers offense, in turn, only put up 10 points.
And that, in a nutshell right there, has been Bryce Young's day.
Rebounding versus Arizona's defense, though, isn't going to be easy based on their Week 1 results. Held the Saints to 13 points, held Spencer Rattler to under 5 yards per attempt, a low 70s rate, no TD passes allowed.
And Rattler on 3rd down, he's going for the end zone, and it's incomplete.
Beautiful defense here by Will Johnson.
The defense Murray is looking at gave up 26 points to the Jags. Their own offense handing the ball over 3 times didn't help matters, and they don't come in off a bad game versus the pass. They held Trevor Lawrence to under 180 yards, a sub-75 rate, and they picked him off.
And a one-handed snag. J.C. Horn with the interception.
What they have to do better is find a way to the quarterback, maybe waze it or something. They didn't sack Lawrence once, only hit him once. Murray wasn't hard to locate last week. Saints found their way to him 5 times.
Off the play fake, he's in trouble, and Kyler Murray goes down.
But what Carolina's defense really has to work on this week, stopping runners. Let Travis Etienne break off a 71-yarder, gave up 140-plus yards to him total, gave up 200 on the ground total.
And get more yardage inside the 35-yard line goes Travis Etienne.
That's something Arizona's backfield could capitalize on. Trey Benson comes in hot, only 8 carries but 69 yards, broke a 52-yarder.
Beat with a stiff arm. That's a 52-yard run.
They have James Conner. He only picked up 39 yards last week, just 3.3 per carry. Murray has to be accounted for too, of course. He went for 38 yards on 5.4 per scamper.
This is where he could be elusive. He directs traffic. He wanted to do this early.
Panthers secondary has 2 guys they know they have to focus on. They happen to be the only 2 noteworthy pass catchers from Arizona's Week 1 win, too. Tight end Trey McBride, who pulled in 61 yards.
Breaks a tackle and then dives forward for a first down.
And Marvin Harrison Jr., who hauled in a Murray TD plus 71 yards.
Murray looking to throw. Murray looking long to the far side of the field, and it is caught!
Speaking of young pass catchers, let's switch back to Carolina's wideout room, which was led by McMillan, or T-Mac, led the team in his NFL debut with 68 yards.
Pass is caught. First down, up across the 40. T-Mac.
And then it was a bunch of guys under 35. Hunter Renfrow, 6 targets, only 11 yards to show for it. XL with 7 targets, only 10 yards. And it's not that Bryce had a sack problem versus Jacksonville. They can live with 1 sack taken on 35 pass attempts.
Middle of the field is open, and the catch is made.
He was pressured 40% of the time, which is high. Ideally, Carolina would like to not chase points on the scoreboard and run a little more than pass. They have Rico Dowdle, didn't do much in his Panthers debut. Chuba Hubbard, who scored on a pass play, 57 rush yards but only 3.6 per run. And Young can run, as he went for 40 yards on 8 tries.
He's pointing to the receivers, just block him. I'm going to go pick up the first down.
Cardinals revamped defense, only sacked Rattler once on 46 pass attempts, only hit him twice, and they need to correct some things along the ground as they gave up 4.7 yards per carry on 22 attempts.
And he's into the end zone! Touchdown, Saints!
These two put on a show last year. It went to OT, nice game from Bryce. Carolina owns this matchup, up 15-6 overall, beat them twice in the playoffs, but lost once to them in the postseason back in the 2008 year.
Ken Wisenhunt's underdogs were back east to face Carolina. All year long, the Cardinals were one of the best in takeaways. They were even better in the playoffs. They forced 6 turnovers and intercepted Jake Delhomme 5 times. Larry Fitzgerald not only took his spectacular game to a new level, but would finish with the greatest postseason in NFL history.
Warner with ton of time, throwing right side, Fitz open, caught at the 5, heading for the pylon, and he is going to be ruled in. Touchdown Cardinals!
The Cardinals were off to their first ever NFC Championship game.
I'm not saying had Michael Penix and company pulled off a last-second upset comeback that a game featuring him and J.J. McCarthy, who did pull off a comeback, would best a Super Bowl rematch for the Sunday Night Football slot in Week 2, but as Wooderson might put it, would have been a lot cooler if he did.
And J.J. McCarthy, back home in Chicago, gets the win.
So JJ is the new Jimmy Walker in Minnesota. Falcons get a quarterback who has never lost in the NFL. McCarthy took time to gather his bearings, but Atlanta gets a kid who believes in himself after he led Minnesota back for the comeback win in his first ever pro start. Atlanta gets an offense that comes off a 27-point outing despite only going 3 for 12 on 3rd down. Still, Falcons taking on a kid with all the confidence in the world, which describes Michael Penix as well, really. He was a good kicker away from the same description. Penix also running in a crucial TD.
Takes off, dives, ball comes loose.
Was his knee down
touchdown.
First? They're ruling it a touchdown.
And throwing for close to 300 yards.
Penix complete pitch.
Falcons first down.
The defense he tries to keep it going against gave up 17 points. They were on the sideline for 7 of them, and they held Caleb Williams to a sub-90 rate when it was over, and to just 6 yards per attempt, 210 yards.
2nd and 20, big pressure, and the ball just comes out.
McCarthy is dealing with a defense that gave up 23 points, allowed 3 touchdown passes to Baker Mayfield, a rating close to 100. Still, they held Baker to 167 yards, just 5.2 yards per attempt. They only sacked Mayfield once on his 32 pass attempts. Maybe they get to the Rook more often, as he took 3 sacks on just 20 attempts.
Time runs out and down he goes.
Penix only dropped once on 42 pass attempts. Minnesota bagged Williams twice. Defensive tackle Javon Hargrave got to him both times.
He thought he was going to give Javon Hargrave the little rope-de-dope, and that he would fall for it, and he didn't.
Vikings front comes in off a good game against the run, when it comes to backs at least. Held DeAndre Swift to 3.1 a carry.
But as we said coming into this game, Joe, Minnesota was very tough to run the football against a year ago, so as much as you'd like to be able to, that's going to be a real challenge throughout this evening.
They didn't handle Caleb's runs well, though. Gave up a touchdown, 58 yards on 9.7 a run to him. Penix had the 1 rush TD, 21 rush yards. Atlanta's hoping for a lot more from its run game. Tyler Algier, 10 tries, 2.4 a carry. Bijan Robinson, 12, only 2 per. They have to worry about Bijan out of the backfield, of course. He was much more effective as a pass catcher, as he hauled in 100 air yards and a score.
Bijan Robinson's the first option on 2 of their 3 plays, and he gets them the touchdown.
Penix worked Casey Washington for 33 yards, Ray McLeod for 51.
Penix on first down, fires, it is caught, and taken up the sideline by Ray McLeod.
Drake London got the most week 1 looks, like 15 of them, 8 catches, 55 yards, so could be more efficient.
Midfield on first down, Penix complete, it's London.
Tight end Kyle Pitts rounding things out. He got his year started with a 59-yard effort.
Another first down, Kyle Pitts to the Tampa Bay 36.
Vikings secondary didn't struggle with tight ends in their win. Not receivers either, really. Held Rome Odunze to 37 yards. DJ Moore got him for 68. And they don't have any pass catchers of their own who enter off big games either. Jets Jefferson scored with 44 yards.
Good protection over the middle. It's caught for a touchdown.
As for when Minnesota runs, Aaron Jones only managed 23 yards on 8 carries, did have the big receiving touchdown. Jordan Mason, though, 4.5 per run on 15 tries for 68 yards.
There's Mason spinning his way into Chicago territory.
Those two will try and get it going against a Falcons defense that held Bucky Irving to 2.6 per carry.
There's Irving on second down. Gain of just 2.
Minnesota doubled up on Atlanta last year, 42-21. They've taken the Falcons 6 of their last 7 meetings. 1998 season playoffs, the peak of the Vikings-Falcons mountain.
The Falcons marched into a hostile Metrodome, trying to earn a trip to the Super Bowl for the first time in team history. All Dan Reeves could do was watch, as the Vikings' flawless kicker was sure to put the game out of reach.
And this is from 39 yards out. Here's the snap. The kick is up, and it is no good. No good. Gary Anderson has missed a field goal for the first time in 2 years. The season isn't over yet. No, it's not over yet.
With 1 chance, 1 play, and less than a minute remaining, the ball was snapped.
Chandler will throw, setting up, left side, looking, throwing, across the middle. Does he have it? Yes! Touchdown, Falcons!
After moving the ball into Viking territory, the Falcons' destiny rested on the foot of Morton Anderson.
A chance to go to the Super Bowl. 38-yard field goal by Morton Anderson. The hold, the kick, it's on the way, it's up and going. The Metrodome, and the celebration is underway on the field.
Houston Texans at home this week for their season opener, looking to get in the win column. Won't be easy with the Baker boys coming to town. Buccaneers 1-0 by the hair of their chinny chin chins.
This is for the tie. Koo from 44. It is wide to the right. No good.
Younghoe Koo, the star in Tampa after week 1. Chaotic game, but it kind of fit Baker ball. Mayfield seems more comfortable in the Joker role, doesn't he? The more chaos, the better as far as he's concerned. Doesn't come in off a big yards game, but how about 3 TDs and no picks?
Mayfield on first down, throws, end zone, caught, touchdown! Ibuka with his second of the game!
Bucs offense went for 23 week 1 points, should have been more, and didn't really have to move the ball much. Mayfield was pressured 40% of the time, that's a little on the Cheech and Chong side, but only sacked once on 32 pass attempts.
4th and short, Mayfield over the middle, and Evans makes the catch.
The Houston defense he gets next is expected to be one of the league's best this year, and they played like it in their loss, only gave up 14 points with an offense that was punting all game.
To the air and high and incomplete, working on Petrie and looking for Nakua.
Good job by the Texans defense.
Baker has to try and escape from Daniil the QB hunter this week and Will Anderson. Anderson nabbed one of Houston's 3 week 1 sacks on Matthew Stafford.
Stafford, here they come again. Will Anderson's got him and brings him down. Another sack.
The heat they cooked up in the kitchen didn't really lead to great pass defense, though. Need to correct some things after giving up 245 yards to Stafford. No INTs, a rate allowed near 110.
2nd down, 8, going deep. Oh, he's got him! Caught by Smith.
Texans secondary gave up 130 yards to Puka Nacua, 51 to Devontae Adams. Next up, Emeka Ibuka and Mike Evans. Evans went for 51 yards versus Atlanta.
It's Evans who picks up another Buccaneers first down. He gained of 14.
Ibuka 67 yards and his first 2 NFL TDs.
His first NFL score, 30 yards from Baker Mayfield to Emeka Ibuka.
39 yards for Sterling Shepard, not much from anyone else. Didn't get much from their running back, Bucky Irving, either. 14 carries, 37 yards, just 2.6 per run. Texans have to remember Mayfield can trot too, though. He led them with 39 rush yards on just 5 jaunts. His runs are just as fun to watch as Lamar's in my book. He looks like Charlie and Mac from Sunny, trying to smash through drywall just to prove they can.
Mayfield using his feet, first down and more, inside the 10 and finally brought down.
Texans' run defense is no joke, though. Held Kyren Williams to 3.7 a carry, held the Rams to 2.9 a run.
Kyren Williams, and he is devoured by Anderson from behind.
Houston would take more of the same from its defense for the most part anyway, but they need way more from their offense. 9 points, no touchdowns, 2 for 9 on 3rd down. CJ Stroud finishing with less than 190 yards passing, got picked off, sub-75 rate.
And what a interception!
Have to try and get right against a Bucs defense that gave up 20 points to Atlanta, should have been more save Younghoe Koo. Gave up close to 300 yards to Michael Penix, too.
Picks up a Falcons first down and more. Still going inside the 10. Touchdown!
They really struggled with passes to running back Bijan Robinson, 100 yards allowed to him and a touchdown, 50-plus yards given up to Ray McLeod, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London, too. Stroud has Nico Collins, but he only mustered 25 yards versus LA. Not a single Texans pass catcher finished last week with 35-plus yards. Stroud spread the ball around, targeting 10 guys, just not much from any of them.
Goes the pass, Schultz. The tight end hurdles, falls shy of the first down.
And as usual, Stroud was under duress quite a bit. Over 40% of the time he faced pressure, took 3 sacks.
Throws the Texans quarterback for a loss. 3rd sack for the Ram defense.
Sets up a something has to give scenario. Bucs pass rush only managed 1 sack. However, they pressured Penix over 40% of the time, so it's more about trying to seal the deal more often for them.
Penix looking, hit, down he goes.
Hassan Reddick.
And finally, the Texans' weekly X factor, their run game. Nick Chubb hit at 4.6 a carry for 60 yards, not too shabby.
Chubb on 2nd down and 5, and there he goes, breaking tackles.
Faces a Tampa Bay defense that played Bijan's runs great, and Tyler Algiers for that matter, held both guys under 2.5 a pop.
They're all keying on him. There are 4 guys running him down, hawking him down.
Tampa Bay, Houston, only 6 games between them ever. Texans have won the last 5 in a row, so let's check out the one and only time it went the Bucs' way, which was the first time they ever met. Do you know the year? You may have been into club with Fitty.
The next week against the Texans, it was another good week for quarterback Brad Johnson.
Looking to his left, still looking flush. Goes it, downfield. He's going to receive it out. It's Charlie Lee to the 40. Charlie Lee to the 35. Charlie Lee to the 30. Charlie to the 20-yard line. Far sideline to the 10. Stiff arms to the 6.
The Buccaneers again sacked the quarterback 5 times as they held Houston to just a field goal.
Oh, he's clubbed by Spires.
In their 7th win of the season, the defense allowed just over 100 total yards to the Texans.
Las Vegas Raiders at home to see if they can start the Pete Carroll era off 2-0.
And a strong Raiders contingent already celebrating behind their bench.
They welcome the Los Angeles Chargers from Rio to the Strip. What's this, Hangover 4? Zach G going to be in it? Bolts off to Las Vegas off what they hope is an early season statement win.
What a night for Justin Herbert, and that might have just wrapped it up.
Justin Herbert ignited the Chargers offense to the tune of 27 points, equipped with Keenan Allen, McLovin, and Quentin Johnston. Eugene's finest comes in off a 300-plus yard outing, 3 TDs, a 130-plus rate, paid him all that coin. Maybe they're planning on getting their money's worth this year.
Nice find by Justin Herbert to split the 2 defenders.
They get in the ring with a defense led by 4th-year DC Patrick Graham that just held the Patriots to 13 points after hearing all week about how Drake May was going to break out this year, held the Pats to 4 for 14 on 3rd down.
That pass batted down, and Pete Carroll's defense starting to flex.
Black Hole's remade offense, room to grow, but lots of positives to build off of. Just 20 points, only 5 for 13 on 3rd down. Geno Smith was picked off once, sacked 4 times. However, he comes in off a 100-plus rating game. Lots of deep ball completions, over 360 yards passing.
Puts some air under it, near side, locates Bowers.
The Chargers defense, he'll try and keep it rolling against. Number 1 in scoring last year, held KC to 21, held him to 5 for 14 on 3rd.
With pressure right up the middle, gets it away quick, and that is dropped.
It was a solid showing that could have been better, had trouble with some Mahomes ad-libbed runs, gave up 250-plus yards passing to him, a couple of big breakdowns mixed in.
Going deep for Thornton. That's a connection.
But they also held Mahomes to a sub-90 rate. Tahir Tart got his hands on 2 balls, and Travis Swift's face. Geno got dropped 4 times. Bolt's pass rush, couple of sacks, and nice robust 8 QB hits.
Mahomes goes down on the first snap.
One of the TDs LA allowed went to Travis Kelce. Now they face Brock Bowers, who looks like TK87 back when all he cared about was football. Bowers started his 2025 off with a 100-plus yard game.
Geno Smith steps up and completes. Bowers, plenty of open grass.
6 Raiders went for 20-plus yards in week 1. Wideout Dante Thornton debuted with 45.
Smith underneath, and they get it. Thornton.
Trey Tucker hauled in a big TD over 50 yards.
To the end zone, wide open.
And maybe Jacoby Myers will rethink where he wants to play, being Smith targeted him more than anyone else. 97 yards, 8 catches.
A one-time Patriot tiptoes and weaves his way.
Quiet game from their prized first-round running back, though. Ashton Genty, 19 carries, 2 per run. He did score at least.
So much power, he's gonna bang it in.
The LA rush defense, he will try and break out against, gave up 98 yards to Kansas City, but most of it came from Mahomes scrambles. They held Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt to a combined 40 yards on 10 carries, so against backs, their numbers looked a lot better.
There's Pacheco, and he just gets smacked.
Speaking of backs, running back Omarion Hampton also got drafted in the first round. also started off his NFL career slow. Hampton just 3.2 yards per carry, left his debut with 48 yards.
Hampton gets met by a host of Chiefs.
Najee Harris only had 1 carry, so should see more of him this week, against fourth-year DC Patrick Graham's run defense that held the Patriots to 60 yards rushing. Is that enough, or do I have to go Bart Simpson chalkboard and do it 47 more times? I'm sorry I spaced.
They really haven't been able to get that run game going.
Herbert's looking at a secondary that gave up 285-plus yards to May, but held him to a low 80s rate, picked him off.
That's the takeaway that Pete Carroll and his defense needed.
They're susceptible to a good booty game. I mean, who isn't, right? Gave up 100-plus yards to Kayshawn, 57 to Stephon Diggs. Now they face an even tougher group. LA's wide receiver trio, hoping to carry over their Week 1 showings. Johnston scored twice, 79 yards.
Fading back, over the middle! Johnston!
Allen with a TD, most targets on the team. Herbs loved that dude in the past, so no shock there. 68 yards.
For the end zone, there's Keenan Allen, touchdown!
And Ladd McConkey rounds things out, enters off a 74-yard outing, looks open on every down, doesn't he? That's a tough 3 to track based on that first look.
See that play over and over with the Chargers.
Plus, newcomer tight end Ty Conklin made a nice impression with a bolt on his helmet for the first time, racking up 50 yards.
And another wide open receiver.
Chargers O-line would like to shore a few things up week over week, gave up 3 sacks, 2 of them were on blitzes though, so only 1 was actually blamed on a lineman.
Herbert taken down by George Karlaftis.
Now Herbert has to dodge Mad Max, and he might not be playing the road warrior role anymore. Vegas comes off a 4-sack game. Malcolm Kuntz and Tyree Wilson also getting in on the action.
Boy, what a huge play that is for Wilson. They've been waiting for this kid to step into that potential.
Chargers Raiders are what you call old school beef. Started together in 1960, only 1 playoff meeting ever, and it was a good one. Do you know the year? The winner landed in the Super Bowl.
And so these remarkable Raiders, picked for last in the West, roared into hostile San Diego for the AFC Championship game. The final quarter featured the field goal accuracy of Chris Barr and a decision to pound out the game's final minutes by giving the ball to pressure-proof, all-time rushing leader Mark Van Eegen, number 30.
It is all over. The jubilation begins. The Raiders are bound for the Super Bowl for the 3rd time, climaxing one of the great stories in football in recent years, the total resurgence of the silver and black. New Orleans, here come the Raiders.